Hi everyone, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 1 on very hard difficulty. This is the 13th of 16 chapters. It's called the Fiendish Awakening, and this one's going to be a little bit longer than my usual ones because I'm going to incorporate the Great Bridge Fiend Challenge in this video. And unlike the Great Bridge Fiend Challenge in Ninja Gaiden Black, this one's a lot easier because you don't have all the trolls to deal with. Those huge trolls and the nightmares who make any battle just a nightmare to fight. It's just literally that's what they are. They're so horrible, so aggressive, so cheap. So they're not in this game. So all you need to do for that Fiend Challenge is kill the lesser fiends and some of the larger those mutant crabs, those large green mutant crabs. And that's it. It's only those two enemies the entire time. You've got to slay X number of each until it totals 100, and then you'll get another Lives of the Thousand Gods. So here's a Fiend Challenge right here. It's very simple and pretty boring too. So I'm going to speed this up quite a bit. I'm going to get the Life of the Gods so I don't accidentally interact with them while I'm fighting here. But normally what I would do on the other games, since you could charge attacks without having to have any essence staggered, was I would stand outside the door with the Dabalacro and just go to town with UTs and collect all my money and get quite a lot of money. You could probably get $50,000 in essence over here. So I'm kind of going to do that. I believe I switch some way into this. I'll switch to the Dabalacro. But before I go outside, I'll kill some guys in here, and then I'll jump outside to the door. I think I do it right over here, in fact. And these guys are very notorious for dropping that red essence. So, I mean, you could... I think this area is like the only area in the game where I don't even know what it's called, that info, because I never use it. It's called the Art of the Ice Storm, I think. Because it goes in a vertical column upwards, and this is exactly that kind of situation. So this is like the only area in the game where I think it has any validity. But even then, this kills everything even more than that would. Because if you had even that on level 3, the Ice Storm, it wouldn't kill everything in the column. It would only kill what would be in that shaft, that vertical shaft that you're sending up over your head. Unlike this, which takes care of every spawner in this well down here, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, this weapon's very good, and unfortunately I couldn't even move the camera right here. So, well, what camera? There's no camera in this game. So yeah, a very, very easy trial, and I don't think you get anything good for it. In fact, I believe all you get is a Talisman of Rebirth. In some iterations, you'll get a Jewel of the Demon Seal, and I think those are the only two items that you'll ever get. So I paused the screen right there on accident. And if you want to rewind that and pause it to see that I'm playing on very hard, go for it. If you believe me and don't think that I'm full of guile, you don't need to do that, because I'm a man of my word. Like the people on my other channel, I had some asshole saying that it was my God of War 3 guide, my uncommentated one on my other channel, where I have those videos that don't have any narration. And obviously this channel is devoted to guides with audio commentaries. He was saying, you know, if you can't beat it on any difficulty lower than Chaos, don't pretend that you're playing on Chaos. And I said to that guy, you know what, people like you who say that a video's not on the said difficulty are just a fucking scum of the earth. Because that's exactly what they are. And it's the people who actually do that kind of crap, who pull those tricks. And like, why would you even want to do that? Like, what kind of shithead would ever play a game, like, you know, have it on hard and then say in the title Chaos? What? Like, why? You know, I guess that would be the true scum of the earth. But it's somehow the people that say that it's not on the represented difficulty, those are even worse to me. Those people, because they're obviously I don't know. Have they checked my other playlists and seen all the other hard difficulties I've beat it on? I only play on the hardest setting. Like, why would I? You know, they obviously don't know me, and they don't know the integrity that I have, and also how boring it would be to play on lower difficulties. Because these days, the funnest challenge resides on the highest difficulty. That's it. No, bottom line. And for me, when I have the most fun, I'm playing on the hardest difficulty setting. And it's just those jackasses, you know, that say that kind of stuff, and it really, really bothers me. And I get so much gratitude and love on this channel. On the other channel, so much hate on a daily basis. There's so many negative people over on my other channel. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. Perhaps it's because I don't have a voice on the other channel, and people haven't really got to know me. They just see videos. That could be one of the reasons. But I've never come out and said to anybody that their difficulty is not on the highest difficulty. Sometimes a lot of people in a video, there's been one time I didn't say it, but I suspected it might be the case with the channel called WikiGameGuides.com. They were playing the final boss on Insane Mode on Gears of War 3. And a lot of people, I mean a lot, like most of the comments early on when that first video, when the video was first published, they were saying, there's no way this is on Insane. And I didn't know how much integrity that channel had, because it was kind of debatable, because those two guys that do that channel, they're kind of lazy sometimes, I feel, that channel, and I've unsubscribed to those guys, actually, because their output is just not good anymore, and their focus and their vision that they originally had is not what it was. They changed it. And I'm talking about John Tarr and the other guy, his lackey, I guess you'd say. But I like those guys. I even sent them a care package of alcohol once to do a Mailbag Monday, because I really appreciated John's God of War 2 guide. But the John who made that guide is not the same one today, I don't feel. I mean, he's not making the same stuff anyway. He's not serious like he was. He wasn't passionate. He wasn't hungry. Excuse me, he's not hungry the way he was hungry back then. And you could tell it. You could tell he was really trying to do well and not put out a lot of fluff just for money. And the only reason I said that, you know, maybe we do need to look into whether they were actually playing on Insane Mode, was because I had never played it, and I didn't know that there are times when, on the final boss, when you're fighting the Queen, sometimes you don't get any of the Theron guards. In fact, that actually happened to me, and I got my achievement, but it wasn't good enough. I didn't accept it, because it wasn't going to be helping anybody to have no Theron guards spawn. So I refought the boss over to get a true victory, but then I realized then that they were telling the truth. It's just that they got a really lucky run, as can happen. But the difference between their channel and mine is that they accepted that and they published it. They accepted that victory, whereas I didn't. So I thought it was too cheap to be representing on my channel. And I actually speak about that. It was the first guide I've ever made with a full commentary. It's my first playlist on this channel. It's my Gears of War 3 guide. It's very unsuccessful as far as views and stuff, but I'm proud of it. Anyway, sorry to be speaking off tangent, but basically what we're doing is we're going back to we're going to be resuming our trek back into the aqueduct. So the reason I wasn't speaking too much about what was going on is because we're just doing a bit of backtracking here until we get a cutscene with the Emperor and his own lackey Gamoth, just speaking about the threat that Ryu has become, and then we'll get out of that cutscene, which I edit out. So you'll see a minor edit coming up where that cutscene takes place. But this is the door where we threw the incendiary shuriken earlier in the game, and this is where the golden scarab was, and to the left, that's where the worm was originally. The two worms, rather. So I had to speed this up too, because all we're doing is dealing with bats And what I did actually is I went to the save point and I maxed out all my money, and I bought some more items, maxed out my money again, just so I could deal with the challenges ahead. I will have to come back here. And also in the description for these videos, I said I will be completing all or most of the Fiend Challenges. I will be correcting that. I'll have to do it one by one, but it's only going to be probably 12 videos that I have to go in and actually correct it. I will be doing all the Fiend Challenges. There hasn't been any. The only one is the bug challenge, and I think I might have to incorporate it in the next video, or maybe this video. In fact, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop speaking in a moment, and I'm going to go back to this area and do that Fiend Challenge, but just not save it. Okay, so that will happen after I hit this save point, and we're going to do that Fiend Challenge now. Okay, let's tackle this Fiend Challenge. I'm back, and when I say I'm back, that means that serious business is going to be going on shortly, so get prepared. Now this Fiend Challenge, I should have done this in the Aqueduct, and I should have done exactly what I'm doing here, but you really don't have to do the Fiend Challenges in any order. You can go back to them. However, some, like the Archives Fiend Challenge, must be completed before certain events occur, like if you've killed Alma, then you can't go back and do the Fiend Challenge. And I believe it works for certain others. And certain others require that you cannot participate in them until X event has occurred, like us activating the portal in the middle of the Tyron Square. That will actually put into motion the Fiend Challenge that we're going to participate in probably about 10 minutes from this video. I mean, this time in the video, about 10 minutes or so, we'll be doing that trial. And I hope everything has lined up correctly. Yeah, that's bullshit. But I have learned that if you want to completely destroy your controller and mash on the buttons as hard and as furiously as you possibly can, you will get them off you. But this is just simple stuff, and it's going to yield a Talisman of Rebirth that I can't even carry because I've got 3 of them. 3 Talismans of Rebirth. Got way too much stuff, but I get what the game lets me get, because this is the first time when I've been able to complete everything in a Ninja Gaiden game. You know, every challenge. Well, I should say every challenge in these games here, Black and Sigma. And most of it has to do with those nightmares not being around, or the cats. But I can do I've done the Cat Fiend Challenge in the Archives with the red ninjas. So just toss magic here, chain attacks, and it's almost over. One more use of the magic, and these guys are all going to be dead. These pill bugs. And even though I should have put this in the Aqueduct chapter, and even though it would have given me the Master Ninja rank, I'm not concerned with getting ranks in this chapter. I'm mostly concerned with making quality guides, and anybody who watches my guides will know that they're quality, because I put a lot of time into them. I think that shows. So we're going to go back up here and observe that as we go back up to, as we leave the sewers, we're going to have to fight more of these lesser fiends here. But if you don't want to fight them, you don't have to fight them, but you might miss out on getting the Master Ninja rank. How that works, I believe, is that any enemy in your wake you need to destroy, and you have to go out of your way to kill anybody in the Fiend Challenges too. And there's other requirements too, and you could look them up. I'm not the authority on it because, like I've said in other videos, I'm prouder to get the Ninja Dog rating than the Master Ninja rank. Well, I'm just kidding, of course. Getting the Master Ninja rank is rewarding, but a lot of these guys, and I think there's even more upstairs too. A tough overall enemy, I would say. But definitely You know, if you want to get a one-hit kill on these guys, do the wide parry with the unlabored flawlessness. It doesn't matter what your health is. It will chop their head off and they're gone. But a fight like these, you know, I don't want to skip them. I want to do it the, what I would say, just the straight-up way of doing it. And people really complain about the camera in all the Ninja Gaiden games. It's not the best camera, but it's certainly not the worst, and it's actually very serviceable. It's just that in this game there is no camera. So if you're charging from a fixed place on the map, you can't rotate the right analog stick. Hell, you can't rotate it anywhere when you're walking. But this game has it does great things with turning the camera for you when you're in cramped spaces, and even having overhead perspective sometimes. So perhaps, you know, they didn't do a camera because they thought that their fixed camera would be sufficient, but it's not when you're charging attacks and you need to see stuff. But that's what revisions are for, you know, iterations. Ninja Gaiden Black, for instance. In this game, I've got to say, much easier than Ninja Gaiden Black. I mean, this hardest setting versus the hardest setting on Ninja Gaiden Black, it's not comparable. It's really not. It's still a challenge, and you know, some people might even think that this is harder. You know, just for some reasons, I don't know why, but they might also think that when I said that this is a lot easier, they might also think that it's not, in fact, easy whatsoever. But by and large, I've got to say that it is easy for me, just because I'm used to such other difficulties that would normally be in this game, namely the nightmares and the cat fiends and the ogres. Those ogres are pretty tough. Those trolls, those masked dinosaurs. Those guys are pretty strong. So I'm constantly guarding right here and doing X parries like I did right there. Trying to. It would be great to do an Azum drop off that Y parry, but this game doesn't let you do it like you can in Ninja Gaiden 2 and Sigma 2. And these guys, they have a lot of HP too. I think I'm using the Sun Armlet. Unless my health is... Yeah, I have the Tranquility Armlet on. My health is increasing slightly. I've also been really enjoying using this costume too. I like it a lot. The one that you unlock is that white, like, futuristic costume. It's so ugly. And the costume you unlock for this difficulty, I believe, is the Fiend Ryu costume. And I haven't had a look at that, but if it's what I think it is, I hate that one too. I just like the traditional ninja garb that he's wearing now. So there was this, the blade of the Nariti right there. There was a UT, X parry, and that was XXYY. And how do you get good at this game? That's what a lot of people say, because they say that the game's too hard for them. How do you get good at it? Well, you've just got to know that it's not like your traditional hack and slash game. You've really got to guard a lot. You've got to learn counters, and all that sounds just like other hack and slash games. But there's something like when you don't succeed in a game like this, it's your fucking fault. That's how it goes. But sometimes there's obstacles in your wake that it's just ridiculous. Like these guys coming up, I call them brutes. You really can't even counterattack these guys, because if you're standing for like a second or two, they just pick you up and grab you. They will grab you. They love to grab, and it makes fighting these guys so boring and so frustrating, because they constantly try to grab you like that. See, Grab, grab, grab. That's all they do. And they've got the projectile that they shoot out of their crotch. They've got that blade attack that they do. They're just a very bad enemy to fight. And I was doing the win run right there, and it was forcing me back the other way that I came because I reloaded this part, but I had killed all the enemies. So I don't know why it was doing that. But when I first saw these guys when I was playing on, I think they first appear in Sigma because they're not in Ninja Gaiden Black. Basically, these are the guys. These are the undead monsters that we fought in the Hidden Underground chapters. Except that they're skinned purple this time, and they have a couple new attacks, but nothing they do breaks your guard. Except, let me rephrase that. I think nothing, because they have a 2-hit combo that I'm gonna get hit on. And I think the reason I got hit on the second one is because I wasn't blocking. I didn't. That right? Watch this. See that? That's their new move that they do. And they have a ton of HP you've got to cut through. So just watch out for that one move. See? But again, you can block and recover from the first attack with well enough time to block and get your guard broken the second time. See right there? I wasn't blocking. I was being so hasty on these guys. But now I'm going to equip the Unlabor Flawlessness because my health is getting really low, and I'm going to do forward power techniques on these guys. I did the XYXXX move right there, but that was only because I had isolated that one guy. But I love these enemies. I love this. I love how they're skinned. The color purple. When I first saw these guys, I didn't put 2 and 2 together because I was so new to the game. But now it's really obvious what they are. And I thought they scared the hell out of me when I first saw them because I didn't know what to do on them. But it's pretty simple what you're supposed to do on these and a lot of enemies. It's just getting your guard broken, and I think people get drawn off from that, and they don't really know they don't know what to do after that. Especially when you're getting guard broke and getting hit. So this game has a lot of, just like in other games, there are some moves in this game that you cannot block. Some attacks you can't block, and some grabs, obviously, that are unblockable. But for the most part, you can block a lot of the attacks from enemies. But the wonderful thing that this game does is that your guard gets broken. Unlike in God of War, where the guard is your lifesaver because you can guard practically everything in that game with zero repercussions. You stand behind your guard and you're safe from every peril practically. And I think that's why God of War players have a difficult time playing this, and that's why I had a difficult time playing this too, until I really started learning it and playing it a lot. And this is in no way a button mashing game. This is because no one that does that will ever succeed. So they'll never say that it is a button masher, because they'll be button mashing and they'll get their ass kicked hardcore. So I have not activated the Fiend Challenge arena, but I'm going to do so and backtrack to it and participate in it. So I'm trying to stun this monster with shurikens, and that happens all the time. It just all never-ending grabs from these guys, these brutes. So we just had that one brute over here to greet us, and that's all you'll ever have from here on out over in this vicinity. They're not on the stairs over here. So now we're going to go up here and hang a left. You could still go right, but we're going to go left. And we have all the tablets to place on the pedestal, and now we're going to activate the portal. Here's the portal right there. So just insert these one at a time. Okay, and as you saw right there, I could have gone into the Hayabusa Ninja Village via the portal, but now I'm going to go back here and participate in the Fiend Challenge, since I was incorrect earlier. You don't have to get the true Dragon Sword. All you need to do is interact with that and get the portal set in motion. So with those set in motion, we can actually go into the activated portal. And if you'll recall, in chapter 4, I took you guys through the area where you needed to you were ambushed by 3 gray ninjas past not Hans Bar, but Muramasa's shop, and there was that one chest that contained a potpourri of orbs or essence pieces, and then we unlocked the door, and we actually got into that area from an upper ledge, and you'll see where it is very shortly. But I'm going to dispatch these guys, and make sure if you're low on health and magic, you revisit the Xbox up by a Hans Bar in the alleyway and fill everything up. Because the trial is very easy. You just because you could chain attacks with the Unlabored Flawlessness, you could drop Nimpo. You definitely want to have the Inazuma at level 3 to deal with the situation, because it makes it a hell of a lot easier. And in Sigma, the giant green crabs, they were easily taken down by explosive arrows, but oh yeah, I went in there and they unspawned, but you see right there, that's where the challenge is going to occur. But you simply cannot shooting arrows at enemies when there's other enemies around, or even when the enemy you're trying to target, he's doing stuff. There's no way to shoot arrows at enemies in this game or in Black. You have to be able to jump and fire an arrow, and they fixed that in Sigma, fortunately. So that guy gave me 2 orbs right there. So here's the Fiend Challenge right here, and don't dread this because it's a lot easier. I mean, a hell of a lot easier than the one on Black. It's in this arena that we've never seen before, and as you can see, we're going to be fighting 2 slashers plus 1 fiend crab at any given time. So what I like to do is Azuna drop and kill the lesser fiends at first, and I believe I switched to the Unlabored Flawlessness because I know that I could guard, parry, and get an instant kill, like right over here. There we go. That guy's instantly dead. He's going to drop some essence, drop blue essence, so that was perfect. And my UT right there was very ineffective because I had relatively high health. I had almost a full health bar, but now I could start really doing some damage with these UTs. Like right now, because I think the crabs might also drop. I think any large enemy in the game will drop 2 essences. Not 2 blues, but definitely 2 yellows, which you can turn into a blue with a charge. I mean, you don't literally turn it into a blue, but it's the same thing as having the blue essence. So, whenever you get into a bind, drop that Nimpo. It's going to be very helpful here. If you don't have too much money here, I would advise having the Armlet of Benediction equipped for yourself so you can make some money off of this. I think I have the Armlet of Tranquility equipped. Not to assist me, I don't need it. It's not going to help me instrumentally. But I think I just came in here with it and I was so into the fight and I just didn't want to go into the menu and switch it. I might switch it to the Armlet of the Sun eventually, but the crabs are very tough because they do that laser projectile that becomes an area of effect attack that you need to avoid on the ground, like right there. And they've also got that very wicked grab that they do. See, he tried to grab me right there. They also do standard punches that you can block, but I wouldn't risk it because you don't know if that punch that they're going to do is going to be followed up with a grab that you can't avoid, that you can't recover from and avoid. So I would focus on killing the lesser fiends, and even if they drop yellow essence, just chain that into an ET. Maybe it'll kill someone nearby, maybe it'll kill one of the other lesser fiends and he'll drop something good. So as you can see, we're almost halfway done with this trial, and this is all they give you. There's There's no dinosaurs, there's no nightmares or Vigorian berserkers if you want to be, you know, I was going to say an elitist snob, but that wouldn't mean that you were that per se. So yeah, the ET with this weapon is just pointless. It does absolutely nothing. Unless you get like a direct hit with minimal damage on your person, it's not going to do anything. You can also feel free to do the Izuna drop. It works fine. So there was a... I don't know what the move is called, but it's XY, XXXX. You could also add a Y at the end of that combo to do an overhead chop. It's pretty powerful too. So what other weapons could you use here? I suppose you could use the Dragon Sword if you wanted to. Or the Davalahro. Or really, you know, whatever you want. Because this game gives you a lot of options. And it doesn't take you, you know, it doesn't take you for granted. The way a lot of other games do. And yes, I use a Talisman of Rebirth, but I've got 99,999 money, so why does it even matter? You know? So the only weapon I haven't upgraded to level 2 is the Warhammer, which I don't have any use for. So I never upgrade that thing. I never have any use for it in battles, that is. But I think this is a really remarkable, just a wonderful game. But I don't think it's the definitive vision of what this game wanted to be. I think you know, you can argue that the next game, Ninja Gaiden Black, was the definitive version. Because hell, that's what Itagaki said it was. Or you can, you know, move into the Hayashi camp. I believe Hayashi's team made Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I don't think Itagaki had any part of that. But what they did on that game is a landmark of revision making, because they kept everything that was really cool and fun about this game, and they just made it even better. They made it look so much. It's so beautiful, you guys, if you've never played that game. It runs at 60 frames a second. It's 1080p. It's just gorgeous. The first level, and hell, just all of it. Such a great HD experience, and nothing is like, none of what makes these games great is in any way detracted in that version. I mean, it works, if not even better. But the main point to realize is that nothing was sacrificed. Nothing about the combat, the visuals, nothing. Now, you may not like fighting as Rachel, and that's another thing, but you only briefly have her. It's only about 3 times you play as her. So I think this is almost the last guy. I don't think this Nympho killed him. Or that one, that is. But these guys are very susceptible to the Inazuma. I think 2 kills them. And that's why that one didn't kill him. It takes 2 of them. 2 direct Inazumas. So I did everything, and I got a time bonus too. I got 10,000 for that time bonus. Normally I can't reach those time goals. But check that out. Another Lives of 1,000 Gods. Our health is huge. It's a huge line right there. And I think one reason they may have not, given your health back was to show you what you're actually receiving. From a full health bar, that is. Or maybe they were thinking that they wanted to show you, just, have the empty part show you what you were getting. But they did that in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. But the only thing was they showed you what you were getting, but they also, after a second, I think they filled it up for you. I think that's how it works. So anyway, you're going to want to save your progress, but it's not crucial because the only thing standing in your way from the next save point is this guy right here. And you don't even have to fight him. Because when you go back into the Hayabusa Ninja Village, the music turns into this beautiful, somber tune. And I've always lamented the fact that there's no enemies in the Hayabusa Ninja Village. There is in Sigma. There is a battle, but it's only with Rachel's character, I believe. No, it might also be with Ryu's character. My bad. But I think you do fight mages and wizards, or mages and the samurai warriors. But I wish there was more. I stopped speaking there for a moment because I wanted you to hear the gorgeous music that is in this level. But maybe it's for a reason. Maybe, it's trying to evoke feelings of emptiness in the player, which is probably actually what they were going for here. Because he's lost almost everyone in his clan except for Ayane, and he even lost one of his other friends, Korea, or what her name was, I can't recall. But I think it maybe does work to evoke that emptiness in this part of the story. And it is very sad. So here's the save point right over here. We're going to save our progress. Okay, so now we're going to go tackle the awakened form of Alma. What I have equipped is the Dragon Sword, and I have the Armlet of the Moon, and just standard shurikens for projectiles. I've also got maxed out items. But this is where you acquire the true Dragon Sword right there, and then I edited out that cutscene. The awakened form of Alma is not too difficult. She has no lackeys. She's just rather hard to hit with your Flying Swallow, which is the basic move you need to do on her. And basically the Inferno. Oh yeah, excuse me. Yeah, my Ninpo is the Inferno. Much better, I feel, than the Inazuma, just because its animation doesn't take forever. And I've had more luck with the Inferno knocking her out of the air. So, just as we did with the previous version of this, if you want to call her a woman, she's more of a fiend. You want to Fly Swallow, but then failing that, throw the Inferno at her and knock her out of the air. And like the previous version of her, she'll fall down for a very brief moment of time and give you free hits. Now, she's either slithering around on her talons, or she's in the air like she is now. The idea is to knock her out of the air when she's in the air. And I believe she's hittable only when she's in the air. Can't even talk. When she's in the air, when she's crawling around on her talons, you can't hit her. But sometimes I still go for the Fly Swallow, and I don't know how firm these rules are, set in stone. But you see right there, she was on the ground, so you could hit her pretty much. It's basically random whenever you're going to be able to hit her, and whenever she's going to just simply not let you hit. So when she runs at you like this, you evade, and then she always tries to grab you with her tail right there. That's how it always works out. So after you evade the tail grab, what you can do is go in for a Flying Swallow attack. And also I edited out every time I switch the menu, so just like I did in Alma, so you can have a more enjoyable viewing of this particular fight, which is another penultimate moment in the game. So she summons columns, just like Alma did. She summons the pink projectiles, as Alma does. She has one other pink projectile attack where she charges it up and shoots it at you in a very fast shot, and you have to dodge the last minute, or do what I do, evade once and then evade again. It's just kind of the rhythm I get into. It's probably not a rhythm you'll want to get into unless it happens to be that way. But basically, Flying Swallow, evade, and get the hell away from her. If you need iframes, like I always need them, you drop Inferno. And what usually happens is I'll get her on the ground with my traditional hits, and then I'll just throw the Nympho just to get iframes, but then I'll have hit her out of the ground, and my Inferno animation is still going on. And at that point, the Inferno is being thrown at her while she's on the ground, which does a good amount of damage, just like this, exactly like this, that situation. So it's best to have your Inferno, it's best to have it at level 3. And I believe she's going to do a charge shot at some point in this battle, so we'll have to look out for that. I get grabbed once, and that's pretty good for me. So trying to knock her out of the air, it's unsuccessful. It's all random. That's how it works with this. Evade, try to do the flying swallow. I wouldn't mess around with the Inferno, the Azuna drop too much. You could do chops. It's just that, you see all these chops that I'm doing, it's because I'm failing the flying swallow. And why am I failing it? It's because I'm doing it and she's out of my range. And you can't do the flying swallow in this game unless you're locked on to a target. It's not like Ninja Gaiden 2 when you can do the flying swallow, you know, just moving around the map with no targets anywhere. So the most, you know, like, how am I dodging? I mean, how does she get damaged? That's how she gets damaged right there. The flying crane missed, of course. I couldn't get to her in time. Plus, I was a little bit too far away from her to take. So I'm gonna heal up, but you won't see me heal because I care about my viewers and I don't want them to sit through me opening menus too much. So here's that projectile attack, which we're very used to, and here's the charge shot. So see, I dodged twice. It's just the rhythm I like to get into. But that takes away a lot. It'll really scorch you. So see, she'll get nailed. It looks like she did a little bit, but she didn't fall down and give us free hits. So, oh, I missed one. I'm sorry. No one's perfect. But anyway, yeah, there's where I get grabbed. And you get punished pretty severely. So she's pretty much of a nuisance. You know, it's a really tough boss. You can barely hit her. But those times when you shoot her when she's already down, it takes away significant damage. So I got grabbed twice. So in a fight where you really can't count on much, at least you can count on sometimes knocking her out of the air, and pretty much all the time getting that shot to count when she's on the air and you're throwing Inferno at her like this. She's dead. But it's not over with yet. We've got more to do on this chapter, including the puzzles in here to get to the labyrinth. So the first puzzle, go through this door. It's the only door you can possibly open at this point in time. And we're just going to be moving some tablets. That's all we're doing. But before I get into that, I'm going to do this puzzle down here, which I neglected to do in my last Gaiden on Ninja Gaiden Black. Its reward is the final Jewel of the Demon Seal. So here's the puzzle. And it's reflecting 2 totem poles burning in the background. So what you need to do is equip your Art of the Fire Wheels, stand here, activate it, and then it'll ignite those 2 columns right there, and we'll get our final Jewel of the Demon Seal, which is going to be needing to be applied to that Art of the Wind, Art of the Ice Storm. Now I'm going to hover over all the Nymphos just to show you that they're all at level 3 right over here. See, Fire Wheels, Inferno, level 3, Ice Storm, level 3, and Azuma, level 3. Of course, the Fire Wheels, they don't have a number assigned to them. But now we're going to... we don't have a save point yet, so you may want to go back to the previous save point. That box right there, it contains a high potion. The other box, it contains a Life of the Gods. But I'm going to be getting those boxes in the next chapter, since it cut out on me. The video did. Not my video, just the game cut out into the final title card for the level. There's going to be 2 fights with these guys. There's 50 of them. And if you die here, for instance, you're going to have to refight Awakened Alma. So save it before you get in here. That's my best advice. Because these guys are... you know, if they jump on you, you could possibly be almost dead. And did I mention there's 50 of them, and it's just not a good enough spot here to fight them. You know, you're evading, you're doing your on landing charge if you can, but you end up bouncing off the walls because this room is just so damn small. But I'm just chaining attacks. I'm not focusing on money. I'm just focusing on surviving, not getting hit, and just cleaning these pill bugs up as promptly as I can. And I will have the kill count. There we go. I put the kill counter up. Forgot about it for a moment. So the manipulation of the leaves and the tablets, I mean, it's pretty easy, but it might be pretty obscure to the newcomer. Like when I first tried to do this, I had no idea what it was wanting me to do. But it does have somewhat of a logic to it, but not enough of one for an intellectual to just look at it and deduce and infer from what it's, you know, from what it has. It doesn't really make much sense. The fact that you need, fire and water should be next to each other, that makes sense kind of, since they're two elements. So now we get a chance to save it. So you definitely want to go over here and save your progress. And we have a new room accessible to us. And now what you want to do is move the tablet of flame and place it where originally the tablet of the water was. So place it right next to the tablet of the water, and then you only have to do one more movement. But before that, of course, you got to fight 50 more fucking pill bugs. And there's also a deity statue in this temple. But what I did was I finished the entire puzzle first without getting the deity puzzle, so I'll be getting the deity puzzle, I think it's a serpent, in the beginning of the next video. So it was just I should have just grabbed it, but I didn't know when the level would actually cut off and give me the title card, and I actually did end up earning that Master Ninja rank. Pretty much hard. It was hard not to, since I participated in all the tests of valor and things like that. I did a lot of good kills. So if you have magic and you don't care about wasting it, just use the Inazuma. Get rid of these pill bugs. Fortunately, I didn't get grabbed over here, but I saved it before I went in here, and I saved it at that statue, so there's no risk. And I would not come in here without saving after Awakened Alma, because I mean, you could kill her again. It's not much of a big deal, but that fight, it's a long fight. It's a drawn-out fight because she's always evading, and it's just no one wants to refight a boss. So there's the 50 pill bugs. Now what we're going to do is go over to this room and move the tablet of the leaves over to where the tablet of the flame was. And that's the only thing you have to do. And I think the video ends right here. And we're going to get a cutscene showing us the ascension of this temple here. And this is actually where the video stops. So in that room that I was just in, where I moved the tablet of the leaves, there was the deity statue and also a life of the gods in that box. But you don't miss them. You start exactly where you are in the next chapter. So I'll just be getting those in the immediate section of the next video. So we're going to be on the Labyrinth chapter. It'll be number 14.